Whoa, 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 we don't want that. All right, what's going on, everybody? Ben, can you have a car for free? As soon as I get a free car that I own, then I'll consider getting some other people some free cars. But what's going on? If I didn't work for Mercedes, what other brand would you work for? Well, Porsche, BMW would be two of my top picks, Toyota even. Want to buy a drag car? Little T, I appreciate the offer. I'm not sure I have much use for it. Mountain, the King of North Homestead encouragement. Sending stars helps me continue. Oh, hey, what's going on, Mountain? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you being here. What's the lowest credit score you've seen at your dealership? Mid 400s. Why do you scold your employees? Adriano, I wouldn't say that I scold them. I hold them accountable, which might sound like scolding at times. But the big thing with me is that I meet every person that works for you in a sales organization has a different personality. They're all very different. Some of them are more aggressive. Some of them are more soft-spoken. Some of them are loud. Some of them are quiet. And as a manager, one of the things that I've learned that's hugely important is you've got to match the energy of the person that you are working with, right? So some of my salespeople are very intense, and they get a more intense version of me. Some of my salespeople are, very unintense, right? And so they get a softer version of me. That's just, you've got to be adaptable as a manager. So, I appreciate that. Love the accountability. Not everybody likes accountability, and not everyone likes to watch accountability, apparently. Ali, go back to Canada, you hoser. Okay, well, I'm not from Canada, but okay. But as the top of the food chain, as you call it, shouldn't you be responsible for lost keys? No. So, Adriano, ultimately, yes, right. I understand your point. But here's the thing. When you sell a car, if you're working in a dealership, the salesperson is the one that has the bulk of the interactions with a client. Okay. If a client has an issue at any point, if they have a question, if they need help with their Bluetooth, if they are curious about the status of their license plates, if there's an issue of any kind, they are going to contact their salesperson, right? That's the main point of contact. That's the person that has taken them every step of the way through the contact. They're not contacting the sales manager unless things have totally gone off the rails and there's a concern that the sales manager needs to be made aware of. But, for example, if a car is not properly detailed, the client is not going to go down to the detail department and start giving them a hard time. They're going to go to their salesperson and say, hey, my car was not detailed properly, right? So the salesperson is responsible for seeing a deal through every step of the way, and things like lost keys happen. So in that video, the point that I was working on getting across was that if a key is missing, are you going to rally the troops, exhaust all resources to find it? Or are you just going to come to me and tell me about the missing key and expect me to just order another one without me knowing for sure that all stones have been turned over? That's all. Gabe, yes, we are hiring for sales. Yes. We are very actively needing to grow our sales team. We still don't have as many salespeople as we need, so we are hiring. If you can find the job listings on Indeed for Mercedes-Benz North Homestead. So if you have sales experience, great. Well, that we can consider you. If you don't have sales experience, that's okay as well. It's not a requirement. But yes, we are actively hiring, and we're looking for great salespeople. So if you are in car sales, or if you want to be in car sales, then of course we would love to talk to you. And I will tell you that car sales is not for everybody. It's a fantastic career. It is harder than it looks, I promise, but it is a lot of fun, and it can be a fantastically rewarding career. So yeah, it's we would 100% love to talk to good people that are looking to get into the business. So Give me just a moment here. I just want to double check something real quick. All right. Okay, I submitted an application. Okay, awesome. When are you open? We are open Monday through Saturday. What is the most expensive car you sold yourself? Most expensive car I've sold myself would be probably a G63 4x4, about $400,000. Mountain, you can tell me about the problem, but you need to bring a solution to the table as well. Absolutely, Mountain. I have no issue with you telling me about the problem. I need to know that you've been working on it and you have a solution on how to solve it. Dustin, I've been binge watching your videos, Doug. I'm not sure why I'm attracted to your videos. I own 2 Mercedes, but maybe I just like your style. Well, whatever the reason is, Dustin, I appreciate you watching, and I think that look, I'm as confused as anybody about why people like watching the videos. I'm extremely grateful for the support. I think ultimately people like a look behind the scenes of what goes on in a car dealership. I mean, cars are fascinating to a lot of Americans and people all over the world, really. But I think it's that fascination with the car business. And also, there's a lack of dealers that do business in what I would consider to be the right way, which is making it easy, making it transparent, making it quick, making it simple. So how about a new electric vehicle lineup for MB? Anything new? Well, the GLC electric, which was just unveiled about a month ago, is a look at our future electric cars. So that is going to be a complete overhaul across the board on the electrification strategy for Mercedes. So all of our future electric vehicles are going to look like their gas counterparts, so their ICE counterparts, internal combustion engines. So that's going to be a really big deal. And the GLC was the first one to kick that off. So do I ever laugh? Of course, I laugh all the time. Wendy, what's going on? Good to see you. Thank you for the pumpkins. I appreciate you being here. What is the most difficult car to sell? Well, I would say a used car with a bad Carfax is the most difficult car to sell. How much did you make on that deal? I'm not sure what deal you're referring to. Alex, what's going on? Good to see you. How are you? Do you know who Petey Pablo is? Of course I know who Petey Pablo is. Mike, myself being in RV sales for 4 years, watching the content is very inspiring. Just wanted to hop on and say thanks for the great content. Mike, I appreciate that. Thank you for watching, my friend. Would I be able to buy a car with a temporary driver's license? Ryan, you will need a full-blown driver's license to be able to, well, technically you don't need a driver's license to buy a car. I take that back. But to drive it off the lot and to register it and title it, you will need one. So you could buy one, but you won't be able to really complete the process without that driver's license. So I would recommend getting that knocked out, and then you can finish up the process from there. Ramon, greetings from Connecticut. Thank you for watching all the way from Connecticut, my friend. Josh, right next door at the orthotic. Oh, nice. All right, Josh, right next door. Over there in the little ortho doctor's office that is right in between all of the buildings that we used to. We don't have motorsports anymore, but that was always we're very landlocked here, right? So you've got a very nicely located piece of property there. Riley, how the heck do you stand your ground on used car prices? Well, you just price them to the market. There's so much data. I mean, look, Carvana and CarMax have been doing it for years, right? It's not hard to do as long as you put a process in place and you do the research every day. So we've got we have a ton of data that we look at, a ton of analytics, and we've got a younger guy right out of college who we hire who does nothing but study the used car market every day, look at competitive sets, make sure that we're priced correctly. Do you have credit history, open lines of credit? Of course, lots of credit history. What do you sell? Okay, Zach, what's going on, brother? Good to see you as usual. What did you sell today? We've got a GLB deal today. We have a E53 AMG deal today. We've got a lot of deals that are right there on the edge. So got a lot working. JM afternoon, what's going on? Are y'all seeing rate cuts yet, Matt? We've been seeing rate cuts steadily over the last several months. So I think that it's safe to say that the banks were anticipating that this rate cut would finally be coming. So a lot of them really got out ahead of it, if we're being honest. Kevin, love your content. Here's to hoping there will be a W214 E63 wagon. Kevin, I'm hoping there will be. I'm not sure what the timeline is on that. They might be waiting for the new flat plane crank V8 to debut before they put that V8 out into an E63. Tyfer, thanks, Doug, for all you do. Your videos are super fun to watch, and I love the information. In your opinion, is there a huge difference in the backseat space between the E-Class and the S-Class? There's definitely a difference. The S-Class is just extremely spacious in the backseat, so really far more than anything else that you can buy on the market today that's not some kind of crazy extended wheelbase car. But the E-Class is very spacious as well. Zach loves the content. Keep it up. Will do. Zach, thank you for your support. I appreciate it. Are you Mormon? No. Let's see. You sold it. You better find it. There you go. Yeah, a lot of people that are here from the key video. So that one, never expected that video would go crazy, but here we go. Car keys missing. Look, if you sold the car, you better find the key, right? We're all in this together, right? But I need problem solvers, not problem identifiers, okay? When you run a big sales team, you need people that solve problems, not identify them, right? So, can you point me in the right direction for an SLS no soft top? The best thing you can do really is search on the web, check auctions like Cars and Bids, DuPont Registry, just all the third-party websites to find an SLS. They're super low production vehicles, and a lot of people are holding on to them. They are out there, but they're few and far between. Nobu Hideg, love the videos. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody who has been so supportive of me. It means the world to me. I really, really do love all the support, and it means the world. I don't know what else to say other than thank you for being here. If you're not following already, would love and appreciate a follow, and make sure you're tapping the screen, hitting the like button and the thumbs up button, and subscribe over on YouTube if you're watching on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, right? Because on YouTube, I post some longer videos that give a little bit more of the detail. Walter, greetings from Minnesota. Love your videos. Thank you, Walter. I appreciate that. When your client brings in high-end used exotic cars for trade, do you ask them for maintenance records? Yeah, we ask them for any information that you can give us that will bring up the value of your car, the better. So this is going to sound crazy, and I know the appraisal videos tend to do well because I think that people love to like rail on the dealer for doing what they can to devalue people's cars. But here's the crazy reality. I would love your car to be as perfect as possible so that I can pay you as much money as humanly possible for it, because that means that I can basically change the oil, maybe rotate the tires, and immediately put it for sale on the lot and sell it quickly. When we have to devalue trades, it's not because we want to, it's because it's necessary in order to be able to resell it, right? So these are things that we're going to have to go in and do, either scratches that are going to have to be fixed, or tires that have to be replaced, brakes that have to be replaced, service that has to be done. I don't like any of that, because that means more time before it's ready to be sold, more money that has to go into it. That's not the ideal situation. The ideal situation is somebody brings in a car that's got a perfect service history, it's got no dents, dings, scratches, it's like ready to go, and we can turn around and sell it tomorrow. Like, we will pay all the money for that car, all the money. Keys, that's another thing. If your car's missing a key, keys are unfortunately very expensive now. And it's not just the cost of the key itself, right? The parts, the pieces that might go into that might not be that expensive, but manufacturers, for theft reasons, fraud reasons, the process of getting a key is significantly more difficult and complicated than it used to be, right? It's not like just taking it to Home Depot and having them cut a key for you. So what year did Mercedes start adding the interior mood lighting package? So ambient lighting has been around for a while, but you can probably trace it back to, I want to say maybe the early 2010s is when you would see it for the first time. It was very rudimentary at first. You only had like 3 colors. They were pretty soft, but by maybe the 2014 S-Class is when they really started to kind of become the ambient lighting that we know today. And just bought a new Geely 53 Coupe, and someone crashed into it. Any depreciation ideas? Oh, and I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh, that's the worst. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure exactly what the question was, but if you can get it fixed without that going on the Carfax, that will be best case scenario. What is the most expensive car in stock? Well, we have a $1.2 million SLS Black Series with about 150 miles on it. arguably the lowest mile SLS Black Series in the country. Fantastic car. Be honest, true or false, you bid most trades 5K plus under what you know you can get at the auction for it. No, that's false, Ryan. If I did that, I would never get any trades. Here's the other thing. There's so much information available online. You can get an offer on your car from CarMax, Carvana in like 5 minutes. So, there's Kelly Blue Book, there's Edmunds, there's all these resources. If you're messing around with your trade numbers, you're just not going to get any trades. So what they go for at the auction to me is largely irrelevant. I mean, we would like to avoid the auction at all costs if we can, but auctions are misleading because auction values will only show you what cars sold for, and it doesn't show you the cars that didn't sell. What's up, brother? Billy-O? Love you. Call in. Hold up, we got to do our Miley Cyrus horn.
Getting turned up, yeah. Getting turned up, yeah. Getting turned up, yeah.
Stole my office.
Whatever.
Hilarious. That'd be hilarious.
Tell them congratulations. All right. Getting turned up, yeah. At what point do you send a car to auction? We are really only going to send a car to auction if it is so old and beat up that we can't keep it one and we couldn't even wholesale it, right? At that point, you've really got to expand your audience to, nationwide people that might be willing to buy it at auction. Looking for an S Cabriolet. Love the S Cabrio. That nose is crazy. I agree, Jacob. Very pointy. But you know what? I was born with it. I don't know what to tell you. Did you at least apologize for freaking out about the key? Yeah, look, I mean, that was a sales consultant who, she actually doesn't work here anymore. She moved down to Florida. But the point is that she was a very intense person. So she often brought intensity into the office. And so you bring intensity, you'll get met with intensity. But we were all good. Everything was good. The key turned up, not surprisingly. What's up? Yeah.
Sorry.
All good. There you go. When will you get the new hybrid CLA 2026? I'm hoping by the end of the year. Have not gotten an official announcement on the timing of that yet, but I'm hoping soon. From LinkedIn, if you have any California clients, send them my way. I have a few people in Ohio occasionally. Any California clients, what to buy cars? Is that, I'm not sure who that is. I can't see, but we have California clients that we sell to all the time. So, would you ever come and visit Australia? I would love to go to Australia. I haven't done it in a while, but I used to have a very terrible but slightly passable Australian accent that I would do every now and then for fun. But, I faded in and out of it pretty quick. Musa lost one of my 2014 E350 keys, had to order it from Germany. Yes, exactly. It is quite the process now. Would have been financially responsible to replace the key if they didn't find it? Well, yes, of course. Dude, if we didn't find the key, absolutely we would replace it, right? That was never up for debate. We're not going to not give somebody their second key on a new car they're buying. It just was a matter of not just being like, well, we can't find it, and so let's go order another one. No, we have to look for it. So can I get an AMG for the free ski? I wish I had free AMGs to give out. That'd be sweet. How long have you been in the dealership business? 15 years, if you can believe that. Zach got a job at a top 5 Porsche dealership. Any advice? Zach, well, that sounds awesome. Best advice I can give you is you're going to have an uphill battle in the sense that the Porsche brand has massive demand on models that are generally unavailable, right? 911, everyone wants a 911. You really can't get those. So what you want to do is you want to introduce yourself to as many people as you can that are going to be in those kind of core model segments, Macan, Cayenne, Panamera, Taycan. You need to make sure that you are going after the people that are more likely to buy the cars that are available, right? And the best advice I can give to you or anybody else that is new to the car business is figure out who the top performer is at that dealership and shadow them, spend time around them. observe them. Just figure out, what do they do? What are their daily activities? Because success leaves clues, right? And identify who the negative people are and avoid them at all costs, because negative people want you to be miserable like them. And there's no dealership that I've ever seen in my life where there's not at least some negativity, and you need to avoid that, because negative people can just absolutely ruin your day, your month. Look, I'll sum it up like this. Never forget this. There's a concept called the circle of five, and it talks about the 5 people that you spend the most time around in your life will have the biggest influence on you. And it is so true. So if you spend time around negative people, no matter how positive of a person you are, it will get in. It will get into your head. It will mess with you. It will slowly make you negative. You'll see the world in negative ways. You'll make excuses instead of taking responsibility. And you just don't want that, right? Because I'll tell you, no matter where you are, no matter what brand you're with, car sales will always be hard. It will always be up and down. You'll always have outside influences that you have no control over, like the economy and interest rates and just general consumer behavior that you cannot control. And it can be tough. It can be, if you're not mentally strong, it's going to be very difficult. But if you go in every day and say, look, I'm going to make the best out of the day. I'm going to do the things that I know will make me successful, which means I'm going to make my phone calls. I'm going to talk to everybody I can. I'm going to make videos and post them on social media, or take cars and post them. And I do that every day, no matter what is going on in the world. Eventually you will be successful. If you just let every day come as it may, and you take what the universe is going to give you every day, it's going to be a very unpleasant up and down roller coaster, right? So put it this way, they have 3 brand new GT3 RSs for sale. They have a big inventory. Okay, well, so Zach, don't be confused about that. That doesn't mean they have a big inventory. That means that they are selling them for market value, right? So the only way that you have a GT3 RS in stock is if you do not pre-sell them and you're waiting for somebody to pay 100,000 over MSRP or whatever the price is that they're asking. So there's a difference between having a huge inventory and just waiting for those specialty cars to sell for full pop. Okay, it's no different than with G63s. Like, people tell me this all the time. They're like, oh, they're all over the internet. They're readily available. No, they're not. I mean, well, they are if you want to pay $50,000 over MSRP, but they're not readily available, right? So there are certain cars that you'll see out there for sale that appear to be available in high supply, but really they're not, because they come with all kinds of crazy strings attached to buy them, right? Thank you, Woody. I like that. I don't get that one very often. That's a Toy Story joke. I get it. Pointy nose. Got it. But Eric, I was selling at Ganley and Brook Park on 9/11. Things changed so dramatically from that day forward in car sales. Wow. Yeah, Eric, that's, I can only imagine. I mean, that day changed so many people's lives, but yeah, that had to be very, very difficult. He's still wearing the bow tie, of course. I'm surprised that you're surprised. Thank you to everybody who's hitting that like button or the thumbs up button, tapping the screen. I really appreciate it. If you're not following already, I would love and appreciate a follow. Thank you for everybody who already is. It means the world to me. Thank you for your support. Thoughts on Delivered, Cameron. I love Tommy. I think he's doing great work out there. I consider him to be a close friend. And yeah, thank you for all the support. Thank you to all the new followers, especially the last couple of days. Some of the videos that have really popped off on TikTok especially. But thank you to everybody that shows up and is supportive. And some of you are not supportive, but that's okay. Thank you as well for being here. But Ryan, I appreciate the peek behind the scenes. Some things are different than I'd expect, but still interesting to see or watch. Yeah, I appreciate you watching. John, a Porsche dealer might sell a GT3 RS at MSRP if you buy 3 Taycans first. Yes, that's very true. But that would, whether it's 100,000 over MSRP or all kinds of strings attached in the form of, buying Taycans, right? The concept is the same. It will cost you a lot more than just the GT at MSRP. Nikki, thank you for being here. Good to see you. Thank you for all the pumpkins. And Zach, thank you for the pumpkins. I appreciate that. What car do you drive? Right now, I'm driving a GLE 580. That is the V8 luxury GLE. I'm very sad. I was driving an EQS SUV for like almost 4 years, but we're sold out of them now, and production is paused on those. So I will have to wait until whatever the future EV SUVs are, because I really love them as a daily driver. But right now, the EQS days are pretty much behind us. So Dominic, I'm a Lexus guy, but love your videos. Dominic, I appreciate that. And I think we can all still be friends. We can represent different brands and we can still be friends. So thank you for watching. Shantae, thank you for the pumpkins. I appreciate that. Let's see. What is going on? Ryan, Cassidy, what is the best? Ryan, thank you for the pumpkin. I appreciate that. Cassidy, what is the best SUV model? I've owned a few sedans in the past. Went with GM and want a Benz. Well, Cassidy, the GLC and the GLE are our two best-selling SUVs. The GLC would kind of be mid-size small. The GLE is mid-size big, and they're excellent. I love both of them. Depends on how much space you need. If you're a single person or you've got a very small family, a GLC might work great. If you have a family and some kids, or you're riding around with people in the car all the time, you might go up to a GLE, but both are excellent choices. Gina, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. And 803 credit score, 10K down, what can I get? Sounds like you can get probably whatever you want. You might not be able to get a $150,000 car if you've never had one that expensive before, but you're in great shape. You can probably get a lot of vehicles, but I would definitely make sure that you don't overextend yourself. Get a car that isn't going to give you an uncomfortable payment. And I will, plug leasing as I always do. This is not to say that the only way to buy a car is leasing, but I think that what everyone in here needs to do when it comes time to buy their next car is just be honest with themselves about how long you keep cars. If you keep cars for 2-3 years, you probably should be leasing. If you keep cars for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 years, then buy them. But most consumers, whether they buy it, lease it, pay cash, they're actually getting a new car. And by new car, I mean new to them, right? It could be a used car that is new to them, whatever. But they're trading in and out of cars every 3 years on average, believe it or not. So what do I think about the G-Wagon? I love it. I love it, of course. Robert, why is MBFS charging a money factor equivalent at 5% on a GL? Robert, the money factors are pretty arbitrary, right? So I talk a lot about this. I haven't done a video recently, but I wouldn't get too caught up in money factors and residuals because they are totally arbitrary. I will argue that point with anybody. And what I mean by that is that, yes, they can generally move up and down as interest rates move up and down, but the reality of it is that money factors and residuals are going to be set based on a manufacturer's desire to move certain inventory, okay? So you could have a money factor that's practically 0%, but that might also have a very, very low residual, which will accomplish the same monthly payment on a lease as a car with a really high residual and a high money factor, okay? So leasing is a little bit complex in that residuals don't always make sense. Sometimes they're a legitimate guess at the future value of a vehicle. Sometimes they're totally arbitrary. I'll give you the best example. The residual on a G-Wagon is, let's say, 50% for 3 years, which is ridiculous, right? Because G-Wagons hold their value extremely well. But there would be no reason to make the G-Wagon residual 80%, because then there would be no opportunity to make money on the lease. So that's a totally arbitrary number, right? So yes, the money factors are set by the manufacturer and they are not negotiable. If it's a special money factor, like the one you're referring to, that super tier credit, tier 1 credit, tier 2 credit, all qualify for that in that special rate, which is nice because it means that you just have to have, you don't have to have perfect credit. You need to have good credit and you probably qualify. Missed the live shows. Why so long? Falcon, that's a great question. I don't really know. I mean, I lost my voice there for a while and just got busy with work, and it got out of the rotation of doing it a little bit. So, when we get busy at work, it's just tough to hop on here. It really is. But I do love doing this, and I love that you all show up time and time again to interact and ask questions. And I'm sorry that it's hard to answer all of them because it's questions coming in from 5 different platforms, and it's a lot. I try to answer as many of them as I can. But Tony's been in a few freeway accidents, never been seriously hurt in a Benz. Tony, I'm glad to hear that you've never been seriously injured in one of those accidents. That's good. That's great. And Mercedes-Benz, I will put them up against any car in the world for safety features and build quality and reliability. And they're just, the engineering that goes into a Mercedes-Benz is second to none. So, Tristan, what's your salary? I do not have a salary. Cassidy, I'm looking to trade my car in the new year. Do you work deals in Miami? Absolutely, Cassidy. We do tons of business in Florida. And fortunately, Florida dealers, often what we hear anyway, are maybe don't always provide the best customer service. So we have a ton of people from Florida that do business with us. And I would say that that's, Florida, Michigan, Pennsylvania, those are the states that we do like just countless deals with every month. So have you told the story about why you chose to work for Mercedes versus other luxury car companies? Well, this will be a good one to end on, Chris, because I do need to wrap it up for the evening. But when I was younger, Mercedes to me was the car that just captured my attention and love. And just when I would see them, I thought to myself, this is like the definition of a luxury car. I especially loved the CLKs of the early 2000s. I just thought they were so beautiful. And that was when I thought of a luxury car, I thought of Mercedes-Benz. And that's not to take anything away from BMW or Audi or any of those other companies. I love them as well, but I thought that is the pinnacle of a luxury car. And so when it came time, when I decided, hey, I'm going to sell cars, I said it's got to be Mercedes. There was no other choice. So this is just the brand that has always spoken to me. I think that it's got the best story. I mean, the most compelling history and heritage and the longest history of innovation. I mean, I love this brand so much. I truly do. And what I also love about it is that there's something for everybody with this brand, right? There's entry-level luxury cars all the way up to insane Maybachs and AMGs. It's really something for everybody. So anyway, Crystal, thank you for the pumpkin. Thank you to everybody that hung out this evening. If you're not following already, would love and appreciate a follow. Thank you to everybody that hung out with me. And until next time, have a fantastic rest of your night. Hope to see you all really soon.